You are listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZW LP Conroe and 106.1 KZCC Conroe and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
And good afternoon. Good afternoon. This is Dr. Carlos Sanchez. This is the Hispanic Chamber Connection radio show, live radio, designed for and run by members of the Woodlands-Conroe Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, or should I say the Texas Gulf Coast Hispanic Chamber. These are a series or a group of chambers, a group of satellite chambers of commerce, where we go into different cities and set up shop and work with people who want to engage with and become a part of the Hispanic market that is local. So now we have about 330 members. We are in 5 different chambers of commerce, which are the Woodlands-Conroe, which is the biggest. Then we have Vintage Park, Katy, the Galleria, and we have more recently a new chamber that's in the Humble area, but it's more in the greater Lake Houston area. So all these chambers of commerce make up the Texas Gulf Coast Hispanic Chamber. And like we've always told people, it's not a matter of being Hispanic, because really a Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is designed to bridge the gap that exists between one consumer and another. And if you're Hispanic and you want to engage with the bigger general market and learn how and work with in a place, in an environment that's safe, et cetera, et cetera. So we provide that. If you are not Hispanic and you want to engage in the Hispanic marketplace, we provide that as well. So we also provide a lot of education. We help our members really become the kind of business people they want to become. And with that, what I mean is that we talk about things like sales and marketing and presentation skills, et cetera, so that anyone that engages with our chamber is good for any other organization. So that is the mission, that is the vision of our Chamber of Commerce. We are looking forward to 2018, where we'll have over 500 members and really become more of an establishment, more of a community resource. And so that's exciting. It's exciting for our members. It's exciting for businesses. And we look forward to you being a part of it if you're not already a part of it. People that listen to our show in general are folks that belong to our chamber or have questions about our chamber. So if you'd like to ask any questions of myself or of our staff, please go to our website and we can talk about that in just a minute. For now, I'd like to tell you about our guest today, because we have a real special show programmed for you. She basically is one of our ambassadors, and she works in the Vintage Park area. What struck us about our guest is that she's really overwhelmingly nice to people, which is hard to do. When you go to these events, there's so many people that show up to our events. It's difficult to be nice to everyone. I mean, I have to admit, I'm not always nice to everyone because I get busy, and sometimes it's hard for me to pay attention to detail. Well, she's gotten, ever since she joined or started working with us, she's gotten more accolades and more positive responses and more happy faces and things like that than I've ever seen for any of our members. So her name is Tammy Davis. Tammy Davis is a member of our Chamber of Commerce, and she also works with a company called Relief Express. So Tammy Davis, thank you for being on the show today.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Tammy, I'm laughing because this is actually the very first time that you and I have ever had a chance to talk.
I know our schedules are so busy we don't have a chance to sit down and
even when we're on the same meetings, we're very busy, So I think it's interesting that at this moment I can ask you questions and
now you can ask me all those questions you've been wanting to ask me.
But we're too afraid to ask them. We're just too busy to ask. Well, no. The bigger questions, always are when you show up to our events. How do you manage yourself, and how do you keep yourself so nice and so positive? Because, like I was telling the audience just now, it's hard to do. We have over 40 events per month. You show up to maybe 20. You show up to a lot of events, and you're always smiling and you're always happy, and you see sometimes the same faces, and still it's like you're seeing them for the first time. So is this like a church thing you got going? Do you go to? Are you like?
Go to a church?
I think you do.
Yeah, I go to a church.
But go ahead.
I think for me, it's when I see them. You say I see them for the first time. Mm-hmm. I think it's because I see really in them something special and different in each person, and I look forward to seeing them. They're like friends and family, and I'm always interested to see what's going on with them and what's new, and finding out more what's going on in their life. So,
Sure.
of course, I'm excited to see them.
Okay. Well, and Tammy's talking about our members. So if you're one of our members and if you've met Tammy Davis, you know what I'm talking about. She's the reason why you guys write me and say, Carlos, you need to be more like Tammy. And I'm like, okay. So just now, we just came from an event. I was telling the general manager of the station and the owner here, Dick Schissler, that we were usually running from one thing to another all the time.
Right.
And so we just came from a meeting that was held at Spring Creek Barbecue right here on 45 in Shenandoah. You would have thought that meeting would have been a little bit less attended.
Oh, it was full.
Full house. About 45 people showed up.
Yeah, it was great.
And that, the reason why that's so special to us and why I appreciate it so much is because I know in the Woodlands and Conroe, there are so many opportunities to network that people can go anywhere. Mm-hmm. They don't have to come to our event,
Or Christmas parties.
For sure. Well,
we were or were not invited to.
I don't think we were. That's why we were. Well, some of you were. I guess some people were, but I know I wasn't. But that's okay. I wouldn't have gone anyway. I have something else. To me, it's just always interesting when people do things at this. Like, for example, whenever I've done events at the same time, the Woodlands Chamber of Commerce does events, mm-hmm. I know my events will not be attended. Well, that was at the first 6 months of this year is when I tried. When I didn't realize that the Woodlands was doing something. I'd book a meeting for us, nobody would show up. Okay. Now I know they will.
Right.
And
it's going to grow. I think it's going to continue
for sure.
to grow. Yes.
But that's the weird thing is we do have to watch out for each other,
right.
one way or the other. Because I know other people, we feed each other.
Right.
So
right.
And when I'm talking about each other, I'm talking about other groups and other networks and other organizations.
Right.
So anyway, all right. So we just came from this meeting.
Right.
And you were raffling off. No, you were giving away some gift certificates or some.
We were giving away gift passes, guest passes for one day or one session passes for Relief Express, and they expire at the end of this month.
So use them.
Use them or lose them.
Mm-hmm.
And I've given out many at these events.
Did you give them out today?
I gave a few out today as well, especially anyone in pain or in discomfort. They need to use them as quickly as possible.
Okay, because it's going to run out. January 1st, those gift cards will not be useful. They will not even open their doors to you. So
correct.
Be careful. Use them now. If you're listening, if you're driving in your car thinking whether or not to use these things,
just today. Yes.
And what location should they go to?
They can go to the Vintage location, which is off of Louetta. It's next to Whole Foods Market, or they can go to the Woodlands location off of Kirkendall, which is across the street from Trader Joe's.
So the Louetta one, next door to the Louetta location is the Bundt Cake place, right?
It is. It's hard to get away from that Bundt Cake. And then across from us is the Sub-Zero ice cream. So you can have ice cream and you can have cake.
Okay. So, but that's, I guess it's easier to identify where to go.
Right.
All right. So that's what we did today. So we had a meeting, a very active meeting.
Right.
Our meetings, for those of you that don't know, we run our meetings as briskly and as business-like as possible.
Very professional.
But the purpose, though, is for folks to take advantage of their time, hopefully,
Right.
Because I've gone to some meetings that are so boring and so terrible and so one-person focused, So we try to help everybody say their commercials and things.
Right. You keep it running very smoothly.
Oh, well,
you give each person an opportunity to talk and be heard and give their information. So.
Mm-hmm. And then unless they talk too much, and then
you make faces at them.
We make faces. I know that's terrible. And I've gone and I've sought out help to stop.
Some professional help?
Well, I'm not kidding. To be able to be less expressive when people say dumb things.
Oh, you don't do that.
I can't. It still happens.
Right.
It's automatic.
Right.
So when someone comes to our chamber who's either over the top arrogant or they're trying to act like we're not, anything more or less than the better chambers of commerce, when they act that way, I have a reaction to it. So
everyone else has a reaction to it.
But I'm the one I'm the one in front.
You're the one expressing it.
But here's the problem.
Yeah.
When somebody talks a lot, like they show up to our meetings and they don't know that they're supposed to keep them within 1 minute, for instance, and they keep talking and talking, our members don't look at them anymore. They look at me.
Right.
And why are you guys looking at me? Well, they want me to shut them up.
Right.
Or they want me to stop them, Anyway, so that's part of what happens. But nonetheless, we had a meeting today. About 40 people, 45 mm-hmm. showed up. Very, very good meeting, I thought. Very productive. Mm-hmm. And I saw a lot of exchanges going on.
Right.
And people that are actually taking time to get to know each other, which is another big deal.
Right.
Because if you go to a lot of networks, you'll understand that there's folks that just show up to hand out their business cards, to get your business card so that they can spam you.
Right.
And that's all their interest. They don't want to know who you are and they want you to buy.
Right.
And we always tell our members, this is not about you buying stuff. Actually, no, it's not about you selling your stuff. It's more about you listening and getting to know each other.
Right,
You know?
building trust.
Oh, for sure. So we encourage that every Tuesday, 11:30 at right here at the place called Spring Creek Barbecue.
Right.
On Wednesday, now you've never gone to the Wednesday one.
I will next week.
At some point. Okay. The Wednesday one is a lunch at a place called Abuelos.
I've heard it was very good.
And it's great food, and it's in Katy.
Okay.
So that's the number 3 largest chamber we have. So number 1 is Woodlands-Conroe, second is Vintage Park, and third is Katy.
And is that one off Highway 99?
Yes.
Right. Pretty easy to get on and off the freeway.
Unbelievably easy.
Okay.
Every time somebody goes there from the Woodlands, they always say, "Oh, I can't believe how easy it is to get here. It's easier to get here than it is, even downtown and other things.
Yeah.
It's well, you pay a little bit for the tollway,
Well, that's worth it.
but it's way worth it. It's so fast, So at that lunch, we have about 35, 40 members in Katy, right? And so that's the opportunity in Katy is incredible. It's just a matter of continuing to harness, what's happening there, and that'll grow faster or bigger than the Woodlands easy at some point.
Really? Okay.
Oh, because the demographics in Katy, are just the same as the Woodlands. There's a lot of affluent areas, and there's also a lot of Hispanic households.
Right.
So hopefully that combines for a good membership.
Good chamber.
Yes, ma'am. After that, on Thursday, all right. So we said Wednesday's tomorrow. Thursday
Or vintage.
is lunch at Vintage Park. That's the one you go to. That's where
I
you started.
love that park. I love that meeting. We have lots of great business people and lots of great people that participate at every meeting, and it's nice to see them come every week.
And show up.
To show up.
The only thing, okay, on Mondays we do lunch in Humble at a pizza place.
Right, at Pete's.
It's called Persona Wood-Fired Pizzeria.
Okay.
So that's Peter Fontano, who is a handyman. He's with Mr. Handyman, so if you need a handyman, he's the guy, but he owns that restaurant.
Right.
Okay. So that's pizza. So you're going to eat pizza when you go there. On Tuesdays, Spring Creek Barbecue. So you're going to eat barbecue on Tuesdays. On Wednesday, it's Mexican or in Abuelos. So you're going to eat burritos and stuff.
Tacos and
all that wonderful food. And on Thursdays, it's again Spring Creek Barbecue. So my diet,
you need to work out more.
I need to do a lot more stuff, Well, because after time or over time, you start to feel it,
Well, they have good choices at each location, though. You can eat more healthy if you want to.
Yeah, but I don't want to. I mean, a lot of us show up and
Baked potato. Yeah.
What did you order today?
I ordered a sandwich.
Straight up
beef sandwich. Straight up barbecue sandwich.
Okay, so nothing fancy, no
Nothing
fries,
fancy,
no. Because the biggest thing that they're famous for at Spring Creek Barbecue is their bread.
Oh, it's really good.
I've heard everybody, that loves Spring Creek tells me, their bread is the best.
Oh.
And it is. It's very good.
I usually get a dozen to go.
Really?
Home, yeah.
Take them home or do you eat them in your car?
No, I don't eat in my car. That's not allowed.
It's not allowed. Okay, well, maybe okay. So you have to have rules.
Yes.
Although you ought to see my car. Right now, somebody gave me donuts. Okay, so I'll just confess. People bring me food all the time.
That's because you tell us to bring you food.
No, I tell you,
Say,
look.
bring me food or buy me lunch.
I tell you guys this, that in the Hispanic market, in the Hispanic culture, number one is always food.
Right.
Everything has to involve food. Food, then family, then friends, then faith, then fun. In that order.
Okay.
Right? But they're all the same. And of course, if you can have something free, which is the number 6, F,
Okay.
it's perfect. So food is always first. So today someone brought me some Krispy Kremes, and I bought some here too.
Oh, okay.
I'm not supposed to eat any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like right now, it's like, okay, Carlos, what are you doing? So, but anyway, she brought me Krispy Kremes because she was downtown. Do you like Krispy Kremes or are you a
I haven't
Shepley's
had
fan?
Krispy Kremes in forever. I can't remember the last time I had.
Really?
Because
So
they're in Houston, right?
they're downtown,
They're past the bubble.
past the bubble. Yes,
Right,
ma'am.
okay.
The proverbial bubble. But you like Shepley's then? If you're gonna eat donuts.
Shipley's?
Shepley's. You don't care for donuts.
I'm not a big donut person, no.
So guys, there you have it.
Yeah.
Tammy Davis is not a donut
I'll
person.
go for a breakfast taco.
Breakfast burrito.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
prefer the burrito.
Breakfast burrito.
style.
Oh.
Bigger.
Well, okay.
They're heftier. They have more. They have more containment. But no. Okay. So I'm not sure why we're talking about this, ladies and gentlemen.
We talk about food because we
Just
like
to
food.
tell you how
Yes.
important food is.
Yes.
And okay. So like we said, Thursday we're meeting in
Vintage
Vintage Park, and then we go all the way to Monday. Monday is Humble, and then we go to Tuesday again, which is right here in Spring Creek Barbecue. So when we come back, we're going to talk to Tammy Davis more about herself and about her company, about the things she's doing, and about the community because we know she has a child in Conroe High School.
Right.
We'll talk about that when we come back. Please stay with us.
Looking for a bilingual insurance company in the Montgomery County area? Since 2006, the Amell Agency is a family-owned insurance agency, and it all started with Leonard Amell. Now working with 3 full-time agents offering home, auto, life, and umbrella insurance, the Amell Agency works with you to provide the insurance you need. Whether it be for your business or personal needs, they put that need first. The Amell Agency of the Woodlands is open Monday to Friday from 8 to 5. Call today at 832-299-6640 or email them anytime at info@amellagency.com to answer any of your questions. For more information on location and inquiries, look up Amell Agency online at amellagency.com. The Amell Agency, Montgomery County's bilingual insurance agency.
Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's radio station with talk, music, weather, and traffic for Montgomery County. Have a question, comment about one of our shows? Want to know how to reach a host? Just contact the station on irlonestar.com or call in and leave a message at 936-647-3776. Get involved with your community with Lone Star Community Radio.
Hey guys, I'm Joey Savage.
Corey DLG.
We are Nerd Thug Radio. Catch us every Monday from 1 to 3 and check out our website, nerdthugradio.com.
We like to talk about quilting, horseback riding, and baking quiche.
Actually, we don't, but we do like talking nerdy to you.
That's right. Every Monday from 1 to 3 p.m., hashtag talking nerdy to you.
We're back. This is Dr. Carlos Sanchez in the Hispanic Chamber Connection Radio Show. We're here speaking with Tammy Davis, and Tammy Davis is a community person. By that, what I mean, I know that doesn't say anything, but Tammy did a lot of work, she and her husband, during Harvey, to work with folks in the community and have them house them. And from what I remember, what I recall, Tammy also opened the doors of her home, and had people actually staying with them for a few days.
Yeah, it was a week or so.
Okay, so how many folks total did you have in your home?
Oh goodness, I'm not sure how many people exactly. Maybe 10.
Okay. That's enough.
Yeah.
If I have 10 people even call me in one day, it's too much. Let alone live with me. So how long were they with you guys?
Oh God, it was a blur. At least a week.
Wow.
I mean, a total of 10 in the household. And they're still recovering, Sure. Recovering.
And they are Conroe residents?
They are.
Okay.
In the Forest Hills subdivision.
Okay. Is that kind of where you live?
It is where I live.
Okay. So go ahead.
Our home was not flooded.
Yes.
So we had that blessing of not worrying about our own home, but we wanted to help the community in any way we could. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, and from what I read and what I saw, because we had kind of a presence as a Chamber of Commerce also, we actually volunteered, like 20 of us volunteered for a shelter, and just the amount of work that entails is crazy. You just can't imagine how much you actually do have to apply yourself. I know that if you guys were working for 1 week with 10 people, that was just horrendous in terms of the amount of work that you had to put into it. Physically.
It was a physical. I think the physical part of it was the easy part at first, and then after a few days or maybe even a week, the emotional part really started to show in our kids and our family, and just the stress of it all.
Sure, and the thing is, it's likely that if it ever happens again, you guys will do it all over again.
Oh, absolutely.
So. That was up here in Conroe with folks up here, and a lot of folks don't even realize that, because most of the pictures we saw and we still see on television are of Houston,
right?
And if anything, you get some maybe from Champions Forest, from that area too. That was terrible. I mean, it was just had mansions underwater, just unbelievable. But up here in Conroe, you got less attention,
1488, the east side is a hidden area, and most people don't know about the subdivision anyway. So when we were calling for help or asking for assistance, they were having a hard time finding it. In that small community, there's 3 lakes, and those lakes, along with the San Jacinto, flooded. And every home on that lake, suffered because of that. But so we were having, really a hard time trying to get help. But once we started getting help, it spread like wildfire.
Yeah.
The local community helped, the churches.
Once they understood where you were, and that's another thing too, is you don't know what's out there. People just, For example, there's a company that loaned their entire warehouse, a big giant manufacturing plant. They loaned it all to FEMA.
Okay.
And so they had all kinds of authorities there, close to the convention center here in Conroe. And the company is Falcon Steel.
Okay.
Right? And but who, by the way, has a ribbon cutting on the 21st. Our Chamber of Commerce is going to go do some things with them and congratulate them and thank them for loaning out all their facilities, because most folks didn't thank them. You know, they weren't complaining or anything, but when I was talking to the executives there, you know, they were like, yeah, everybody showed up, everybody was very helpful, we helped each other, but nobody said thank you.
Right.
The first responders did, but it was just a strange scenario that it's a multi-million-dollar facility to just loan it out like that. And so they're going to be congratulated. I think a congressman's going to come. You know, there's different people that are going to show up representing Montgomery County just to talk to Falcon Steel and thank them for what they did.
That's great. They did that. Yeah.
And I remember when we were at the church, because that's where we volunteered as a chamber, we drove out to a place to get more water, I think it was. And they had it all in the convention center. They had a lot of stuff, but also at Falcon Steel. You know, so the community did come together. But the thing, what I noticed, though, it seemed a little bit more rustic. Well, actually, it is rustic. It's out here, it's far away. But protection, I mean, you guys also experienced or you saw looting happening.
Oh, absolutely.
Was that in the subdivision itself?
In our own subdivision.
So
people in the middle of the night would come with their trucks and trailers and load up as much as they could, and they would leave. And that was unfortunate.
But was that during?
That was right after the flood, when people's belongings were on their front lawns, and they had nowhere to place to put them. So these trucks would show up in the middle of the day, wasn't even at night, and they would gather belongings and leave. So
so what did you guys do to stop them? Or who stopped them?
that's a funny story. My husband and several of the other men in the neighborhood would stand guard at the front of the neighborhood and make sure whoever came in or left the neighborhood they belong there.
Yeah, that's
just
smart.
to keep it safe.
It's the way to do it, you know. And I think that's the way it was done from the beginning of time in this country. You have to protect your things. That's why we have, the Second Amendment. That's why all these things exist.
Right.
To make sure that there's no craziness going on.
Right.
Anyway, all right. So now fast forward. Actually, not fast forward. Go back in time a little bit for us, Tammy, if you would. You grew up in Texas. This part of town, or this part of the country, or
I grew up in a very small town called Fairfield, Texas.
Fairfield.
It's a few exits on 45 going toward Dallas.
Okay.
So it's between two other small towns, and that town had one blinking light and one drive-through fast food of any kind.
Dairy Queen.
I believe it was. It
had to have been Dairy Queen.
It was like a Dairy Queen knockoff.
Okay.
Basically.
So it was Mary Queen or something.
It was very similar. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Because those things, Dairy Queens are still around.
Right.
Except that they're not anything like they used to be.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So, and you're also an Aggie.
Yes.
So tell us about that. You went to A&M and
I did. I had a scholarship to go to A&M. Actually, it was an art scholarship, arts and humanities. And my art teacher saw these great, wonderful things in me and decided to push me for that. So I went.
What kind of art?
Multimedia. All kinds of art.
Wow.
All kinds of art.
Okay.
Graphic design is what I really wanted to go into, but things didn't. It wasn't. The world wasn't ready for my kind of art yet.
Okay, there you go.
My creative style. So fast forward, I finished at A&M, and I actually got back into the restaurant business with my family.
Wow.
Because they just pulled me back in. So
yeah, they sucked you back in.
They sucked me back in. Yeah.
How long were you in the restaurant business then?
Oh, goodness. Many years, at least 15 more years.
On your feet?
On my feet.
Because I spent that much time also in the business.
Yeah.
With Hyatt hotels, I traveled all over the world. And same thing. And literally when they do suck you back in, you're 14 hours, 16 hours a day.
It is.
There.
Nights, weekends, holidays, and at some point I decided, okay, this is enough. I need to get out of the restaurant business and do something different. So I got into the health and wellness business.
Okay. And you're like 50 times certified to teach yoga.
I am 51 times.
51. But is it something you do now? Is it something you still have?
I still practice yoga. I still teach when I'm asked to teach at retreats and special events and things like that. It's my heart and my passion, and I love to help people feel better. And that's another reason I started at Relief Express, was to help people feel better overall in their whole body. So.
Sure. Okay. So like with yoga then, because you've also said something that intrigued me last time we talked, and because very briefly when we talked, but you said something about possibly at some point in your lifetime writing a book.
Yes, I've always wanted to write a book about yoga or have some style of yoga with the prenatal moms and for the kids, and just to have a very beautiful book for people to look at to understand yoga and how it can help the body.
Okay, so you don't want to do some weird Zumba/yoga thing?
No, nothing weird. Just something simple and elegant and easy to understand. And
You know, something that's interesting, because I've studied things like Tai Chi and other things similar. What I haven't found is a book that talks about philosophy behind yoga.
right,
That actually explains yoga. There's a lot of folks that teach yoga, but they know the poses, but
Right.
they don't know what it means.
Right.
You know, and I don't like that. I mean, personally, I'd rather go to get a video and learn 3 or 4 poses, but knowing what they mean,
right.
than just
Then
bending
just
and
go to
switching.
a class, right?
So that to me would matter. That if you had how many routines or whatever you guys call it, what do you call them, routines or
It's it could be a routine. Usually, you're led by who's in the class.
sure,
So
but they have a certain
they have certain the sequence of poses.
there you go.
The
Because
sequence.
we do Yen 24 and Lu 51, and every number means the amount of poses within the Tai Chi you do.
Oh, okay.
When you stop, there's a certain pose you're doing.
Okay.
And it's a continuous movement. Basically,
Right.
there's a lot of similarities. So they call it Tai Chi, Chinese yoga. Mm-hmm. All right.
Okay.
So bottom line is, you might write a book at some point.
Sure, I might.
Okay.
That's on my list.
Well, but is that part of your creativity?
Right.
Sort of.
Exactly. It's part of my creativity coming out, and then the other side is because I always want to help people feel
Right.
better. So putting the two together.
Okay. So right now,
Mm-hmm.
how else do you express your creativity? What else do you do with creative matters?
I've lived vicariously through my children.
Okay, you're like a coach or something?
Yeah. So I coach volleyball with girls through the YMCA, and it's been a lot of fun. And then I have a daughter who's 9, and so she's very creative and outpasses me in any creative skills. And then my son, who's in 9th grade, he's also been very creative in photography and things like that.
Wow. So how old is your son?
He is 14.
Okay, and your daughter's 9.
He's 9.
Okay, so you're basically right now being a parent of
Yes.
them, and just kind of whatever they say you do, and it's fun.
Right.
Okay, but at some point, I know that you're going to stop and say, okay, what am I doing?
Right.
And that's when you'll have you named this book yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so that's the first step.
I
Right?
had a few names. I have had a few names.
Are they cute names, cool names?
Well,
funny
they're
names?
yoga names.
Uh-oh.
The name Sundara means yoga or means light or sun. So I just like that.
You said something interesting about sun. Mm-hmm. You didn't say anything about sun. You mentioned sun. There's a practice. Have you ever heard of it called sun gazing? Mm-hmm. Okay. Have you ever done it?
I don't think no.
Okay. Sun gazing is an extraordinary practice to do. It really, really, basically, your pineal gland, which is what it activates, it reacts very strongly to sunlight or to light, period. Mm-hmm. So when you're doing sun gazing, basically, you're looking directly at the sun. But the beautiful part of it is that you begin to learn that the sun palpitates, that the sun is an actual living being. Wow. So the more you do it, the more of a relationship you develop with the sun, to the point where, you can understand why ancient cultures thought of the sun as God, or
Right.
the sun as something, they worshipped the sun.
They worshipped it. Mm-hmm.
And that's it's very possible to do for us regular schmoes. Mm-hmm. Like if you wanted to try it, you get up before sunrise,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a moment before sunrise when the sun is between rising and not fully up, that it's not dangerous, that you can actually look at it directly and it won't harm your eyes.
That's interesting.
And there's also a moment in sundown. Right, so sun up, sundown is when you're out there looking at the sun.
Okay.
And you start by doing it for 7 seconds at a time.
Wow.
And you go all the way up to doing it for 45 minutes.
Wow.
And I reached the point of about 30-something minutes. And then I moved.
And you,
Then it was hard to see the sun because in the woodlands there's too many trees.
many trees. Mm-hmm.
But bottom line is that you have to find a good roof, and then the practice, it really is a beautiful practice. You just can't imagine the extraordinary feelings you get doing something like that.
Very meditative.
Oh my God, yes. And we're talking here with Tammy Davis. Tammy Davis is, I'm going to say a community activist, a housewife, and also a yogi. Yeah, we'll call it yogi, and also a future author. When we come back, we're going to learn more about Relief Express. We're going to learn more about Tammy. And so please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Looking for a bilingual insurance company in the Montgomery County area? Since 2006, the Amell Agency is a family-owned insurance agency, and it all started with Leonard Amell. Now working with 3 full-time agents offering home, auto, life, and umbrella insurance, the Amell Agency works with you to provide the insurance you need. Whether it be for your business or personal needs, they put that need first. The Amell Agency of the Woodlands is open Monday to Friday from 8 to 5. Call today at 832-299-6640 or email them anytime at info@amellagency.com to answer any of your questions. For more information on location and inquiries, look up Amell Agency online at amellagency.com. The Amell Agency, Montgomery County's bilingual insurance agency.
Lone Star Community Radio is looking for those who are interested in hosting their own talk show with monthly and weekly slots available on Conroe's FM 104.5 and 106.1 and on irlonestar.com. Start your own podcast, create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com or call the station message line at 936-647-3776.
Attention movie lovers, The Ticket Stub is a new radio show servicing Montgomery County that is meant for you. The Ticket Stub is available live every Thursday at noon on FM 104.5 and 106.1, as well as anytime on irlonestar.com. Connor and Dick will let you know what's coming out in the theater, what is worth streaming, and what's going on in the world of film. The Ticket Stub, your home for movie talk.
We're back. This is Dr. Carlos Sanchez with the Hispanic Chamber Connection radio show. We are the Texas Gulf Coast Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Obviously, you don't have to be Hispanic to join. You want to be interested in the market, though, and you want to be interested in our members and help our members and help us be successful. We are a Chamber of Commerce that's focused on small business, and we are unlike other chambers of commerce because of that. Most chambers of commerce tend to be more community-driven, or they want to build cities, and they want to build streets. Some want to save the manatees, save the whales. Others want to just help you become a voting resident and all kinds of other things. Us, we want small business to be successful. So my biggest concern as CEO of the chamber is to look for ways to help our members be in front of others and do business. So we do about 40 events per month, and we promote our members as much as we can. This radio program is designed just for that. We're here with Tammy Davis today. Tammy is a yogi. She's also works with Relief Express, which helps you mitigate pain. And she's also, I was going to say a housewife, but no, she's a mom that does things with her children that make her feel more in touch with not only her kids, but also with life itself, because she gets to live different cool experiences that maybe before she wasn't living or whatever. I mean, vicarious living.
There you go.
Okay, so we'll keep it at that. But she mentioned something during the break that I want everybody to know, because I really want to understand what it is. And it's called Christian yoga. So, Tammy, please explain. What is Christian yoga?
Christian yoga is a practice of yoga, and the philosophies are based on Christian beliefs. So if you believed in Jesus Christ or if you don't. So most people that practice Christian yoga do believe in Jesus, or they want to know more about the Christian yoga, or they're just curious about it. Mm-hmm. So the mantras, the sayings, they're more Christian-based, so they're more Bible-based.
Okay, so that would be excellent for this part of town. That's
yeah.
for sure. Well, or not. Who knows? The thing is, it is said, and there's different versions, and scholars who've written about Jesus and his life, mm-hmm. that he practiced all kinds of modalities and all kinds of different, everything from Reiki to all kinds of stuff. That right now, if you ask a common priest or someone mm-hmm. from the church, they might think they're sacrilegious. So they might say, "Oh, that's not good. Oh, don't do it." Like even things like hypnosis and mm-hmm. Stuff that it's very evident and very obvious in the Bible that he did these things. Even meditation, mm-hmm. which to me is one of the most amazing things. And we won't get too deep into this because mm-hmm. Carlos will go crazy. But to me, it's amazing. I grew up Catholic, mm-hmm. and I've read in the Bible. I know that Jesus meditated on this day, right. but they never ever taught you to meditate. Mm-hmm. They wouldn't use that word.
Right.
I never learned to meditate in the church I belonged to when I was a kid. I learned later in life. So is this similar? And that there's
it
things?
Is similar. Even at the church that I attend, is the Ark Church here in Conroe. The pastor,
We're very nice, by the way.
they're awesome. The pastor does talk about meditating and meditating on Bible verses and how to meditate, and he teaches those things. So it's helpful.
Oh, for sure. Well, even prayer, how to pray. And, you don't pray when you're in the worst mood possible because it doesn't work. And there's all these things, right?
Right.
I guess it's more the technical aspect of the things they tell you, just do it versus how to do it.
Right.
Okay, so tell me more about this Christian yoga. Why do they call it Christian yoga? It's because
the basis and the mindset is that you're meditating and praying to Jesus instead of just being empty-minded or it's yoga is based on Buddhism and their beliefs, which is great and fine. But if I was brought up Christian, so that's my belief system. And for me to practice yoga, I always pray to Jesus.
Sure.
And so that's how I've incorporated the two together. And it's being very inclusive to any religion.
Sure.
So that was my idea of when I started some of these classes a while back, was to have all religions be included, and then they can choose their own path, however they feel led to go, but to give them those tools that they may need, in time of need. So.
Right. So do you teach this now?
I haven't taught it in a while because I've had this new venture with Relief Express. So it's been a while since I've taught a class, but I practice it on myself.
Okay. So basically that's your form. That's what it's called.
That's right.
So you're out there doing your thing. Okay. No, that makes sense. I mean, and what it does for you, I think, is what matters most in the end.
Right.
Is what it does for other people, that you're able to bless others in a whole different way.
Right.
So, okay. So we're talking here with Tammy Davis. Tammy Davis, like we've said, has all kinds of different facets in her life. So she's multifaceted. Carlos, come on, multifaceted. And she's also writes books at some point. And she's do you paint too? Do you do?
I haven't painted in a while.
So do you do music? What's your art?
My art was yoga, because I could be creative in my classes and be creative in just the movements and the flow of things and that type of thing. So more of a physical, creative outlet.
Okay, right, and right now, of course, that's on standby until the year 2018, which is 3 weeks away, right? I mean, you'll start looking at it again and maybe diving into all of that. So your experience. Tell us a little bit about your experience with the chamber. What kind of things have you experienced as a professional that have been different, or that have been helpful to you, to your growth and things like that?
Right.
What
Well, I know from the very beginning when I first attended, it was very welcoming and warm, and everyone was very friendly. And that was a new experience because most events I'd been to were closed off. Most people were handing me their business card before they ever found out anything I did, which that's okay. That's part of what they did.
That's not okay. Just so you guys know, we will give you a business card right back to you if you hand it to me without you asking me who I am. Just saying. I mean, Tammy's nice. But there you go. There's the difference. This is why they email me about Tammy, and they email me when they're upset. So there you go. Sorry, go ahead.
And well, from the beginning, I knew just from your energy and the setting of the meeting overall was fantastic. It had an overall different feel than anything I had experienced. Everyone has been very helpful as far as giving referrals, but also giving me referrals for clients or patients that I needed for Relief Express. So they listened to the needs that I had and were very helpful in that way. And then also with your trainings on Monday morning, that's been an experience that
that's an experience.
That's been an experience in itself. But just the marketing and the sales trainings and learning from other business owners, what their trends are. And
what's been interesting about that though is that on Monday morning we talk about pretty much whatever comes to mind. It's not that. What we try to do on Monday morning is just really over the top add value to membership and things like that. And the training or the programs that have been most successful are the ones, and this is just how it is, that are hardest to access in the market. For example, what we talked about this Monday, yesterday, which is just a whole model of behavior, right? Human behavior, internal communication, et cetera, et cetera. That stuff, you really can't find it anywhere. It's hard to find information like that. But when people know it and get it, it can change their life entirely. Just understanding.
Just understanding.
How they behave the way they behave, not why. The why matters, but the why is not what's going to change. What needs to change really is how you're doing what you're doing. So when we talk about that, and I did see you were smiling, so okay. most of the people were, but some folks were.
It was interesting. Most people, like you said, have never heard that before,
Right.
and so it was very eye opening for a lot of people. And so they have to look at themselves at what they're doing in their business to make those changes. And
Always.
change is hard sometimes, so you have to make that decision to change and to grow and move forward.
Because almost invariably, whenever someone's having problems with their business, almost invariably the problem is them.
Correct.
But for me to get a person to understand that takes a little bit. I mean, for me, I don't care. It does take courage. You have to say it to them,
Right.
But the stakes are high enough in most cases when they finally come to see me, not only as a chamber president but also as a consultant, that I can tell the CEO or somebody, look, it's you doing this that's creating the problem. If you
Right.
fix that, you can fix your company.
Well, you made a good point because you said it always starts with the leadership, and that's been in my experience. Is it's always the leadership that needs to have that communication, that needs to have that goal set, clear understanding of what needs to happen with within your company. So,
And that's pretty much in any kind of enterprise too, whether it's a family, a church, a business. It doesn't matter.
Right.
If the leadership is clear about things, then clarity permeates throughout the entire
Right.
organization.
and communication is very important.
Yeah. Oh, but I was going to tell you, did you talk to Angela Schimmels today? Angela Schimmels?
Yes.
With Image
360. Yes.
Okay. Did she promise you your name tag?
Yes.
Okay. So just
It's
for
coming.
The audience doesn't know this, but Tammy's been an ambassador with our chamber now for what, maybe 2 months?
Yeah.
At least. And we give our ambassadors name tags. And so if you can see it, some people can see like here. Okay. And we've promised Tammy her name tag forever. And it looks like Angela Schimmels, who's so sweet and so busy, who makes them, finally today remembers that she needs to make them. So it looks like you're going to get it soon.
Good. 2018. It's going to be a new start.
You start the year with the new name tag.
That's right.
So, okay. All right. So let's go back to something else you talked about earlier. And that's more about how did you guys, in the end, how were you able to help the families that came to your home?
Well, I think we probably helped more just the overall community by getting the resources that we needed there at the time. And Relief
So were you-
Express was very helpful during that time. It was them that brought a lot of the supplies actually
Really?
to our neighborhood.
They came in their boats? No.
They came in their trucks and trailers, and some of the managers that were working there at the time brought truckloads of food and
Wow.
fans and cleaning supplies and things that we needed right then and there.
And you were the one making that food? Who was cooking?
Whoever they picked up the food on the way in.
Really? Wow. So for sure, Relief Express, we owe a debt of gratitude to
Right.
them.
I was very grateful for them for doing that, and that was my first experience with them. I had just been hired on, and it was great to see their generosity for a new company.
So during Harvey's, when you first started working with Relief Express?
It was my first week and my first day.
Wow. We're here with Tammy Davis. Tammy Davis is a resident of Conroe. She's also a housewife and an activist and a community person who has a lot of really interesting things going on in her life. When we come back, we'll learn more about Tammy and about the things that are going on in Relief Express. So please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Looking for a bilingual insurance company in the Montgomery County area? Since 2006, the Amell Agency is a family-owned insurance agency, and it all started with Leonard Amell. Now working with 3 full-time agents offering home, auto, life, and umbrella insurance, the Amell Agency works with you to provide the insurance you need. Whether it be for your business or personal needs, they put that need first. The Amell Agency of the Woodlands is open Monday to Friday from 8 to 5. Call today at 832-299-6640 or email them anytime at info@amellagency.com to answer any of your questions. For more information on location and inquiries, look up Amell Agency online at amellagency.com. The Amell Agency, Montgomery County's bilingual insurance agency.
Remember to download the Lone Star Community Radio app from your Google Play Apple Store. Bring Montgomery County's community radio with you anywhere with your smartphone or tablet. If you are in the Conroe area, tune in on FM 104.5, 106.1. If you are on your computer, bookmark irlonestar.com as your internet radio station. Lone Star Community Radio broadcasting 24/7 from the heart of downtown Conroe, Texas.
The Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service has been dedicated to educating Texans for over a century. In 1915, the Extension Program was established under the federal Smith-Lever Act to deliver university knowledge and agricultural research findings directly to the people. Ever since, AgriLife Extension programs have addressed the emerging issues of the day, serving diverse populations across the state. Texans turn to Extension for solutions in horticulture, agriculture, 4-H and youth, and family and consumer sciences. Extension agents respond not only with answers, but also with resources and services that result in significant returns on investment to boost the economy. Join us Fridays at 1 o'clock for the AgriLife Extension Hour.
We're back. This is Dr. Carlos Sanchez of the Hispanic Chamber Connection Radio Show. And we're here with Tammy Davis. Tammy Davis also, people don't know this, is a big supporter of the Conroe ISD and the Conroe High School. And do you know what the word Chicano means?
What?
Chicano? It's a person that was born and raised in Conroe that understands Hispanic culture. Chicano. That doesn't make sense to you. Okay. Chicano, the word Chicano.
Oh, Chicano.
Chicano means it's a term that defines Hispanic people in America.
I thought you were saying to Conroe.
Chicano. Never mind any of
Chicano.
that. Now let's talk about the Conroe ISD.
Okay.
And Coach Hurd.
Yes.
So Coach Hurd is a gentleman who's the track and
field and cross country head coach.
Head coach at the Conroe High
ISD.
School.
Yes.
ISD or high school? Is it the same thing?
Conroe High School.
Okay. So he comes to our chamber meetings from time to time to talk about supporting young people and about being a big supporter of our organization and just sort of being out there. He's actually had some of our members come and speak to some of the kids there in the school.
Yeah.
And I know that you yourself personally and Relief Express, because your daughter goes to Conroe ISD, yes?
Yes, she does.
Okay. So big supporter there. Tell us about what's going on there. What kind of events do they have happening there, et cetera, Tammy, if you would?
Well, we have Coach Hurd has been recruiting members from the community to come and speak to his group, his leadership group. Mm-hmm. And sometimes he asks them to speak in Spanish only. Sometimes he asks them to speak in English as well. But he has a lot of kids that need some direction and a little bit more help as far as showing them some business sense in his throughout the high school. Mm. So that's why he's asking leaders from the community, from the chamber, to come and speak to his high school students.
So we're going to do a lot of that next year also. Mm-hmm. I mean, with the creation of our Speakers Bureau, mm-hmm. which you're a part of.
Thank you.
Okay, no, you already knew. You knew, didn't you?
I think so.
Okay. Anyway, with that, we are going to be a community resource for not only for schools, though, but also for businesses and for organizations that bring in speakers. Mm-hmm. So we train our speakers on how to do it, and then we get them to be leaders of the community, et cetera. So Coach Hurd basically then, how many kids does he work with, or how does that whole thing work? Because I know you guys do a lot of sponsorship there.
Well, we started sponsoring them with the track and field. So we had the kids come in through Relief Express. If they had any pain before or after their track meet, we would, help them with that pain and mitigate that pain. And then we're also giving them sponsorships through some buying them jerseys or helping them in ways that they need while they're on the road to their track meets. Mm-hmm. So those kinds of things. Sponsoring lunches and breakfasts and whatever they need for the coaches, just to be a resource for them for the community. Okay. And he has other events coming up. His main goal now is to help get some funding for the next year, for 2018.
Isn't it the big goal of all of us? It is,
yes.
Sure. Okay. So, all right. So basically then that is, Relief Express has taken the Conroe ISD or Conroe High School as their sponsor.
Right, as their sponsor of the year. Mm-hmm. And we helped them they got to district this year for the first time ever. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the kids on the team lettered, and they got their letter jacket. And
wow.
So it was a big deal for the kids and for the school.
Yeah, imagine. Thank you, Relief Express. So something you mentioned I thought was really interesting, because I've seen other groups, community groups, go to Conroe ISD and other organizations. They would go to organizations to speak to the members or to the kids, etc. And there's a pretty big demographic in Conroe that doesn't speak English.
Right.
And it's a pretty large. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I can't say the percentage because I don't know it.
I know it's more than half.
That's a zero? 1 minute. Oh. 1 minute. Oh, I thought it was 1%. Thank you, Dick. Dick is he's saying to me, Carlos, stop it. So we'll end this in a minute, because real quick. So you guys are doing a lot in Spanish as well. So they're bringing in speakers that speak Spanish to help the kids.
Right.
Okay. All right. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Conroe ISD also has a lot of different programs, and if you want to learn more, you can talk to Coach Hurd, or you can also talk to Tammy Davis.
Yes.
Tammy, do you have a phone number that they can call you at?
832-483-9036.
483-9036. Tammy Davis, we've been speaking to today. Thank you so much for being on the program, Tammy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And next week, we'll have a gentleman by the name of Tom Brody. He can save you a ton of money on your business by using tax benefits. But we'll talk about that next week. Thanks again for being on the show. This is Dr. Carlos Sanchez with the Hispanic Chamber Connection. We will see you back next week. Thanks again, Tammy.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thank you for checking out this production of Lone Star Community Radio. Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's community radio station. Don't forget to check out this show and many others across the Lone Star Community Radio Network, either live on Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, the Lone Star Internet Radio app, or irlonestar.com's live audio stream, and on replay on podcast, Channel 12's Our City TV in Conroe, or Channel 21 KVQT in Houston, and of course their YouTube channel. This production is copyrighted and all rights are reserved by Lone Star Community Radio. Have a question regarding this program or other Lone Star Community Radio shows? Want to sponsor or start your own show? Call the station message line at 936-647-3776 or email the station at lscrstudios@gmail.com.